Alright guys, feeling there, back more. Watch Dogs 2. Yeah, listen to the LFC Live Table, or LFC Live Table, LFC Roundtable. Right now, just got home from work. Haven't really done much since then. So we're just gonna continue on here. Work was fine. I did get my schedule for next week, which is not ideal, but it's what it is. I mean, it's 25 hours or so, which isn't too bad. But mostly it's the placement of those hours that aren't my favorite. But what are you gonna do? Really, I mean, it doesn't really affect this channel that much. And it doesn't really affect my other channel that much either, because it's really I'm working a lot more on the weekend. Which usually on the weekend I don't really work on that sort of shit anyway. Not too much at least. So like it doesn't really affect that much. It's just like less downtime, I guess, if you will. I don't even remember what the fuck I'm doing right now. Is this a mission? I mean, is this a new mission or Shanghaied? Okay, that's what we're doing.
It starts with SIBU 707.
Okay, I see it, but I got other containers in the way, and I have to find a way to unblock it.
You can sign up and start playing anytime throughout the season. It behooves you to start at the start of the season because then you're going to not miss out.
Yeah, we'll see how this the stopwatch goes. I will definitely be playing it. Wait, where am I going?
We're starting here with Bailey.
Oh yeah, I forgot we have to.
We're going in alphabetical order here, which I think is fine. I like it. So let's start with Bailey. All right. Booyah.
I gave Bailey a pretty high score, right? I mean, I did rate it. I mean, I didn't give anyone above a 7, but I did give Bailey a 6.
A 7.
Really? I mean, I think that's fine.
Yeah, we thought this was an Apple choice. I feel like we looked at it and we're like, no one's got Bailey's name on their tongue really, but everyone is talking.
Wait, what?
We're all communicating. She's in a lot of situations where people are considering her, people want to work with her. She's got herself in this situation where she's in the line with Cody and
that works.
and Davon, but then also kind of like is talking to Janelle has decent bonds with Kaser. A very, very
Yeah, I got a really long Saturday, which sucks.
more often than not, it's one of the things in the early going is how many people becoming HOH
But,
and I can't think of
what are you gonna do?
anyone really.
Calm down, calm the fuck down.
That's a good spot to start, good spot to be in. Involved with some connections, that's good as well. 7 is well deserved. And yeah, we thought this was a good place to start at the audience. This was an Apple decision by us.
Booyah, do you agree with the audience?
Me and the audience were on the same page. I knew coming in when I did my ratings before I realized
deals in
that
human
the audience
trafficking.
was gonna converge into one.
Anti-shoe boys for
I
sure.
was like, there's one person that has to be above the rest. And
It's some high-end human smuggling like I ain't never seen
I would
before.
have given Bailey an 8. And I did.
His container is nicer than my last apartment. I'm sending you a picture.
And I was like, I
Got
have
it.
to do at least
Who
one
is
that's
he?
above everyone else.
Why does he
And
have
I
a
just
bloody
looked at
nose?
it as Bailey has no blood,
Noodle
no
Translate
problem,
isn't
just
his friend.
connection, just social, but also is part
And
of
he's
some
not your run-of-the-mill
foundational
cargo either.
stuff that no matter how the house
Not
goes
sure what I
next
can
week,
do with
she'll
it.
be able to fortify some
Let's see if
stuff
you can
and be
match
in a
his
better
face
position.
online. My guess, he's got an education if they went to all this trouble.
Right. I'll start with Chinese schools and get back to you if I find something.
Okay.
I'm very impressed with a lot of
Oh, and by the way,
in the house so far.
welcome to
I
America.
don't think it's a surprise. These are all-stars. They were good players on their original seasons. I think a lot of them are playing even better than they played the first time. I'm very impressed with what I've seen from Bailey. I think she's one of the top spots in the house right now.
Marcus, I found your guy.
What you got?
Graduate of Shanghai Jiaotong University. He's got a double master's in statistics and business. He's a quant.
They definitely need him to number crunch that stock market data, which means the Auntie Shoe Boys are in the business of insider trading.
I have a contact in Chinatown who's connected with the anti-shoe boys. I'm sending you his coordinates. Maybe he can help you get answers.
But right now, I feel really good about her, and I gave her an 8 there on the stopwatch.
Okay.
Melissa?
Yeah, I totally agree.
I gave her an 8. I really. I gave I didn't give anyone above a 7. Mainly because I don't feel like the house is is structured in a way that you can really have a very clear confidence in anybody at this point. I gave Bailey a 6. I think I gave Danny a 7, and then I gave a whole bunch of people 6s, and then some people lower. That was it. Yeah, Bailey, I'm pretty sure I gave a 6, but she was a high. Like I debated a 7, but.
But yeah, I've been very impressed with her. I think that she's kept all of her. She's done a good job of like being social with everybody, and also keeping her options open.
I do feel like she is someone that I do see being targeted mid-game. I think she's gonna be good for her first few weeks, but I do think she's eventually gonna be looked at as a pretty big threat. But yeah, for now, she's doing pretty well. Because I think Bailey's probably doing better than Davon right now. I think Davon came into the season way better positioned, but I think Bailey's been executing a lot better.
So I'm honestly very impressed with her.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with her as well. Terrence stole my line because I remember Big Brother 20 really well and how much we bought into the Bailey buzz. We were so excited. We're like,
Hey, you know this guy?
Yeah,
you're just full of attitude, aren't you? Look, I know the Auntie Shoe boys are bringing him in. I'm trying to find out why.
No, I don't fucking know him. We don't all know each other.
Satara said you could help me out. Give me something here.
Why didn't you say so? Auntie Shoe has an office in the import-export company on Gold Street. They keep records there. But you tell Satara this makes us even.
Yeah,
But
thanks.
I'm holding back just a little bit. Basically, I want to see one more week. One more week of her doing well in Big Brother House. Give her an 8. I'd be happy to do it because Bailey's on my draft team. Not that anybody cares about that, but I'm a big fan of Bailey. I think a lot of people.
Heads up, I'm checking up on a lead in Chinatown. I think it's an Auntie Shoe safe house or something. I'll let you know if I find anything.
Okay, keep an eye out for anything we can use related to the stock market hack.
I love watching her with Janelle being like a girl's girl and just shooting the shit about whatever the hell. It's really cool to see her just connect with people in such a genuine, heartfelt
I thought there was gonna be an open window.
Personality-wise and rootability, I give her a 10, but as far as the stock watch, I give her a 7.
All right.
Yeah, I think 7's probably more in line.
Christmas, and so Bailey will end with an average of 8 out of 10.
Who the fuck is buying Christmas? Who the fuck is buying Bailey?
And Christmas is in an interesting
I
spot.
think give Christmas a 4.
Is doing pretty much what I expected of her based on her.
Mainly because I don't feel like she's being as proactive as I would like.
19 house. She does have the social chops to make relationships. She's even she's got enough of a strategic mind to not really get herself in trouble and to be a good ally, which is what Paul saw in her. And she's in an okay spot here. She's got a good connection with Tyler. She's in this Memphis crew. She's building a relationship with people like Cody. She's got a relationship with even Ranzel. She's got a lot of people want to keep her around because they think she's gonna be a good ally for them. She's gonna win competitions.
I find the shooting in this game so ridiculous.
Christmas is that
It just feels like a cartoon.
as a game player, and I don't know if she has done it yet. Based on how she's operated so far, she still seems like a follower to me. And it's a long way away.
I still don't see Christmas winning a Drago. Ah, fuck.
And so I have right now 6.
Really? Still that high?
Oh, I went further than that. I have. I can't believe there's so many numbers. I saw some of the numbers flying past in the chat. They were talking about Christmas, and I saw 7. Crazy. has a temper, and she's gonna let somebody have it. Someone's gonna irritate the living what out of her. At some point, she's gonna let them have it. Also, I agree with Terry about having real respect. Like, that's the word in the game. Like, I don't know, Dave, that's exactly how he would frame it. But she doesn't really control things. She's a good soldier, but she's a terrible general. And in fact, I don't even think she has any interest in being a general. And that's sort of the worst part of it all. So, I'm gonna have to see more from her until I give her a better score. But right now, it's
Puya, the audience was feeling a 5 on Christmas. Are you on board with that?
Actually, maybe I gave her a 5, actually. Yeah, I did give her a 5, didn't I? Never mind, yeah, I did give her a 5, not a 4. Oh,
Because I kind of agree with Brent. I think the biggest move for me is
Now
that
this is promising.
best
Let's see
and
what you're hiding.
closest
Got
allegiance
anything
right
good?
now is
Documents.
what she
You read
wants, her
Chinese?
ideal
Nah, but I do
Hey,
read maps
me,
and
Tyler,
diagrams.
and
Maps and diagrams of what?
Looks like a floating server farm. Computer nodes, generators. They're in international waters somewhere near the China-US cable.
The Pacific
Wait,
Fleet's
what?
been chasing boats and submarines
Oh,
away
wait,
from
where
that
the
thing
fuck
for
she come
years.
from?
But that's a lot of wet to cover.
Not when they also feed you coordinates. Thank you, Auntie Shoe Boys.
Great. Now get out of there.
Nice and simple. She is not even one of the disconnectors at this moment. So I would say that this is on par because also ultimately you look at it. Is anyone going to come out for Christmas next week? Most likely not.
Squad, we have alerts of a hostile in your area.
Either go up or down. For now, you're just bang average to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's what I was going to say as well. I think she's a 5.
One man down! Get back on the other suspect!
But at the same time, it's like I haven't
Be
really
reasonable.
seen enough
Just
yet to
surrender.
indicate that it's like on the upward trend.
Perfect, if that card
It
is
does
in.
seem like people,
Cool.
some people want to work with her. I have noticed that some
Oh, is that the
people
card
are
we came
saying,
in from?
like, oh, she might
I don't remember.
snap, or like maybe the character we can't get on her bad side. So, like, I don't know if people are really thinking like this is the ally I want to have. If they're kind of concerned about that already. So
Yeah, I
I'm
think Christmas
worried
is
about
okay right now, but it's like it's
maybe,
week
like,
1. Like, I don't
have
think
any
it'll
sort
last.
of close allies besides just like, okay, we're taking
Not that I think
someone
she'll,
and,
like...
someone
Like, I think the problem with her is that
for
she's
now.
either gonna play, like, a very passive
But,
game,
you know, I have been
or she's
impressed
gonna
with
eventually
socially.
blow
I
up,
think she's done a good job of, like, working with people and
that's
talking
not
with
good
people,
either, so...
you know,
I don't
that
really have much
people
confidence
seem
in
to
Christmas
get along
overall.
with her and like her, and I feel like that's super important for the first few weeks. But I'm not really seeing like where she plans to go from here. I haven't really seen any indication of her like
Hack the
talking
bars.
about
Get an
that,
inside
really,
peek
like,
and maybe
kinda
find out
just
why
like,
Bloom
okay,
is
that-
letting
that's,
someone
like,
use Bellwether
well,
on
you
the
brought
stock
this idea
market.
to me, but it doesn't
Only
seem
problem
like
is,
she's
it's out of
really
range.
coming up with anything of her own. So that's why for now.
Barge won't be linked to CTOS, and she'll use Chinese protocols. But I've got a fix for you. Easy peasy. We'll patch you in on my side. Just get your phone to a clear location. I'm sending you coordinates to a lighthouse in Marin. Make sure you look around.
With the gameplay so far. I am very
Yeah, Cody I
impressed with what he's
gave...
done and what he has set up here.
Maybe I gave Cody... No, I gave Cody a 6, right?
This is the first week.
Maybe 6 or 7, I don't remember.
I gave Tyler a 9 in the first week of Big Brother 20. I've got to give Cody a 9 in the first week of Big Brother 22. I think that, again, yes.
Okay, we already have Robot Wars?
A lot of things could go
Goddamn.
wrong.
That's the penultimate mission last time.
Game. Is there a lot better that he could have done? Like, is there a
Yes,
lot of
I
room
think there's a lot
for, like,
that he could
what
have
he
done.
could have done better here? I think that there are missed opportunities that he had.
Yeah, I mean, that's the things that he could have done.
Like, you know, certainly not a Dan Giesling, but Dan Giesling didn't have a first week this good. Probably in either of his seasons. I'm very impressed with the structure that he set up here. I'm trying to find, like, who's had a better first week in Big Brother, and honestly, I don't know if there's a lot of other people that have, and I think that when you look at, you know, how well he's set up, I'm pretty impressed with it, so that's where I'm
Actually, now I think about it, I did give him a 7.
Yeah, the chat called it. My eyes rolled back pretty far in my head. You said 9. Like, I am not that high on Cody. I still think that, like, here's the thing.
Okay, it was
with my
him and
ratings,
Danny
I'm
who
always,
said it.
giving them a rating, but I'm always cautious about looking forward into, you know,
Because
what-
Cody is in the center of the
they're here
house right
now,
now. Like,
but
he is
given
the
their current state
center
of game, what do I think is
of all these
possible for them,
alliances.
okay? You cannot tell me that at some point
And isn't looked at as the
Oscars
biggest
are gonna
target
this guy
in
because
any of
what
these
he put on
alliances.
the
I do think a
20
bunch
seconds
would.
is like mind-blowing. At
Not
some
really.
point, they're going to come for him. I do not think he did himself any good when he HOH'd in the first week. I think he's a likable, genial presence.
I completely
don't think
disagree
he had
with
to win HOH.
I think he had to
First
win
week, I don't
HOH.
think anybody would have come
I
for
don't know if
him.
he had to,
Also,
but
there's
I
a
think he
huge stop for
benefited
the
from
board.
it.
Like, why is he putting up Kevin? Like, I think really would have worked with Cody, and he may yet get away with nominating Kevin and still keeping him as an ally, but I still think it was a mistake putting him on the block in the first place.
I
It
don't give
was
a shit.
almost like an HOH without a plan, like one HOH that he didn't know what to do with it. And yes, there are some semblance of alliances that have formed, but there's nothing really set. And also, some of the people in those alliances, like Tyler, he doesn't really trust them that much. So I don't think it's a 9. And I didn't give him an 8. I gave him a 7.
Yeah, I think 7's about right for me.
Melissa, what do you think?
I gave him an 8. I thought that he did a really good job his first week. I thought that he was. I keep saying this, but
I'm really hoping that Tyler's stock's really low because I really want to buy Tyler's stock. I feel like 2 months Christmas stock might not be terrible to buy right now. We'll see how it all plays out though. I have a feeling that the stock's gonna be really fucking expensive though for everybody in general. Like outside of like the Keystone channels, which is like fuck. And Nicole Anthony's
Okay, I made
probably.
it and I'm good to go. Hey, Ray, no lie about the view.
Well, you're not any confidence in.
You two play nice. You ready, Ray?
Yep. Protocols are ready for you.
I'm gonna see what's up with that barge.
Or at least during the conversations he has with people. And the fact that he already has a bunch of people wanting to work with him, and it seems like everybody in all their discussions of alliances are like, yeah, we can bring in Cody, and let's talk to Cody, and, you know, all that. And that's exactly where you want to be in the beginning. I think that, yeah,
What's the plan?
If I read the blueprints right, and I know I did, it's got cameras that I can hack. I'm going for an inside peek.
But I also think that
Hijack the shit out of it
kind of keep his options
as soon as I
open,
figure out how.
especially because, like,
That's crazy.
you don't know who's going to win the next HOH. And
Love it.
I want
does
their
seem
main
to
server,
me
and that means
that-
bringing it closer to
and
us.
the reason why I'm
I'm
not
going
giving
inside.
him higher than an 8, even though I do think he set himself up really well, is that, like, I don't think he's totally in the clear depending on who wins HOH. Like, I think that there are some people who actually
I'm
will target
trying to
him, and some people
do
who are
something
definitely, like Brent said, like seeing him as a target due to his really good performance in the competition. So I don't think he's like fully set himself up for like, wow, there's nothing to worry about moving forward. But I do think he did a really, really great job, and that's why an 8 is what I think.
Yeah, just to jump in really quickly, I agree with that. I see Cassie in the chat saying that Cody's safe for a while, but I don't agree with that. I think there is a non-zero
Damn, they're
chance
not
that he
fucking
actually
around
leaves
here.
the house room
I
week
see a lot
2.
of top-end
I really
hardware.
do. Now, it would take
I also see an
large
admin
chain of
terminal,
events for
but
it
I'll
to
need to
happen.
snoop around and
I can
find
see
some
if you
login credentials.
house guest once the veto is won by someone, and there's 2, nothing players like, David and Christmas, or David and Nicole Franzel up on the block, putting Cody up and getting him out of the house, and everybody agreeing on it. Like, I can see that happening.
I mean, I honestly think anybody could go in week 2. I don't think there's a single person in that house that is 100% safe from going home in week 2. I think there is so much that is still to, be solidified and re-solidify and de-solidify. And so I think that there's a lot still up in the air. And I'm really looking at this as like a singular
Josh
one. Like,
toys
yes,
or
anything can happen
Zatara
next week.
toys?
But in
The
terms
kind
of, like,
that
what
needs
could I have
batteries,
asked
the kind I
Cody
can
to do
control
this week?
remotely.
I
Now
have
you're
a
just
hard time
playing.
finding, like, yes, it's not a 10, but, like, how much more really realistically could he have done? Puya, what do you think?
What do I think, or what does
What do
the
you
audience
think? Then we'll give the audience this time.
Okay, so I personally, I went with a 7. I think for me, ultimately, the fact that Cody is in a position where he's, because we did, Taryn, when we got on Friday, we dogged him for the way he was playing. We're like, he's not doing enough, he's being very cagey, he's not bringing people in, he thinks people should come to him, and that's not happening, and he should be putting in work. He did, I'll grant you that, he did. He put him where, look at him, he's in this double onion alliance, he's in all of them with Enzo, he's one of a few people that is included in every single iteration. That's good for him.
I think I found the password.
He does have
You
some
read
decent
Chinese.
reads, I'll give him
It's a
that.
numerical
I think
sequence.
for me where he
Can't hurt to try.
was
Wait, how many
the
times
fact
did they say that joke?
His thing with Frantic Franzel is not as sneaky as he thinks it is. People are going to catch on to it, have been catching on to it. Every conversation that he's having that he thinks is being very covert, very quiet, that's not as quiet as he thinks. I think there's some slipperiness there. I do want to say, though, I acknowledge what you're saying in that he did turn it around. He did put in the work. He has gotten his conversation. He has got his deals in. He's very well situated, obviously. there are the people that could put him up. There are situations where the wrong people get the safety suite, the wrong people get HOH, the wrong person wins veto, he could end up there. It's certainly possible. But I think a 7 is appropriate only because, and for me ultimately, it's just the factor of, are you going to be on the radar more so than other people, but you're well situated? Yes and yes. So just being on the radar even bumps him down to a 7.
Yeah, I think that he's well situated. I don't think that he's
me too.
necessarily
That's
well
what,
insulated. And that's
pretty much what I
where
think.
I'm having a bit more trouble with this game.
Puyo, would it surprise you to hear that the audience is even lower on Cody than you and Brent? The audience gave him a 6.
Oh my.
Okay. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna take the 7. Yeah, see it. Bro, I'm with the audience now. We're saying 6.
Puyo, the magic tricks now.
Oh yeah, I brought cards. I brought Uno cards to represent.
I just like every single season we see these alliances set up and we say what a dumb cast this is to allow this thing to happen, and what Cody is doing right now is he is pulling the wool over the eyes of a bunch of all-stars, and I'm pretty impressed by it. I'm pretty impressed with all of the people in this power group because I think they're all pretty well situated. So you'll be seeing high ratings from Nate for a lot of them. Let me warn you. And then just in general, I think the average gameplay in this season is at least like 3 points higher than any other season. So like on, you know, in Big Brother 21, the person in this position might get a 6 or a 7. But on All Stars, with these players playing at this level,
this room looks important.
That's gonna give him a boost. So that's what it is. Cody is gonna end up with an
This
average
is why we love
of
people who check that little remember
overall.
me box.
Let's
I found a login name.
to Danny. Let's talk about Danny. Melissa, how do you feel about Danny?
I feel really
think
good
I have
about
what I
Danny.
need to access
think
the ship
she's
systems.
Really impressive.
Sweet.
I think she's starting to
Get
catch some
yourself
people's
back in the
radars
menu
too. But
items.
yeah, I give Danny a 7.
I watched a few.
I think Danny and Cody are playing the two best games right now.
Pick out
I think
the way
Cody
she
because of
has
how
the
he's in the center of pretty much like all
just
these
'cause I was
alliances,
like,
and
I feel like I
Danny
know
for being
patterns,
kind
I
of,
wanna make sure. And it
I mean, she's
seems to
also
me that,
within
like,
all
a
of
lot
these
her
alliances too, which is really
with
weird.
people, where she has this really good ability of making it seem like she's having a really real conversation with you, but not giving you any actual information, and not actually agreeing with you, but making it seem
I'm
like
in.
she's agreeing
Any
with
idea
you, because
how you're
a lot
bringing
of
the
times
barge in
someone will
closer
say
to shore?
something like,
You should totally spoof the fuel
David's
gauges.
really,
Make them think they have a leak.
cagey. I don't know how to feel
Sounds
about him.
good.
She'll
Okay, I
repeat
spiked the
back
fuel
as a
gauges.
question
Made them think they're
what
low
the
on
person
fuel.
just said, like,
They're coming in to gas up.
David's really
Nice.
And then they go,
We've
yeah.
got a boat waiting for you at the Marin docks.
And she just like, and then she'll just say like back to them what they're saying, but not exactly agreeing with them on it, being like, yeah, I don't really know where anybody's head's at right now. And it's a lot of like,
Salad.
yeah, it's like body language that makes it seem like she's agreeing with you, and like the way her facial expressions are, like, and the way she's like nodding, but her not actually giving you any information. It's very impressive, and I just think that like she does a really good job of it, and I've been very impressed with her. I didn't watch Beans during her season, so I didn't know how she behaved outside of like a show edit. So at first I was kind of surprised because I was like, really, I didn't like get this sort of vibe from her, like from her previous seasons. But the more I watch it, the more I'm impressed with it. I think she set herself up really well. I think that this friendship between her and Nicole is good for her because I mean, yeah, Nicole's not a super great ally to have just because she's always paranoid and she needs to be constantly reassured. But like, you don't want to be on her bad side. So because she's like willing to betray anybody. So I think that it's good for her to be paired up with her, and also the fact that everybody seems to want to work with Danny, and the new people consider her part of their crew, and the old people consider her part of their crew. So I'm very impressed with her. So I gotta give her an 8.
There you go. Puya, the audience was the highest on Danny of anybody. Danny nearly making an 8 from the audience, but still landing at a 7. Do you agree?
So I also, as an audience member, came in with a 7 in mind, and had 7 written down and submitted a 7. Through this conversation with Melissa, I'm more so leaning on 8, but I'll take a 7.
That one change could have put her up in an 8. It was very close, Puya.
Don't put it on me.
Booyah.
Don't bury me. No, I think honestly, I think 7 works because here's the thing. Danny is well liked, well situated amongst the people.
Fuck.
You know, we're looking at the.
This is meant to be fast travel. So I'm spending more time trying to figure my way fucking out.
Thing going on with Enzo and Cody, so that's the thing that they're working on. We're talking about that being probably the best of the best alliances that are formed, like the strongest ones potentially. That's good. She's got a thing without much, but is doing a good job of masking that at least.
Fuck it.
That's nice.
Far away is it? Okay, it's only 100 something.
And then it's also
Yeah.
got good relationships with conversation with Dave. Like she's a great social player for me. I do enjoy watching her play. I like that she's able to convince people of the nonsense that she's selling them and them buying it. I like all of that. But ultimately, I think similarly to what Brent said about Bailey, I need another week. I need one more week to see Danny keep this up and to see what everyone really thinks about her. Because I'm a little scared with Danny. I'm a little scared that they're gonna wake up and be like, no, Danny, we've been seeing with Danny. So I'll give it another week,
Shit.
and I'd sing the praises. I'd give it 8, you know. But for now, I'm as the audience, the audience, the collective, the thousands of us that rated, we said 7, not just me, all of us.
All right, Brent.
I'm also just really quick. Just the chat is also giving me some
Retro.
good
I lined this up for you.
reminders of the
Nice.
various
You
ways
coming
that she
with?
gets,
This
like,
is all
information
yours.
from people
When the
and
barge
doesn't
comes in
share
range,
anything.
this
A
will
lot
get
of
you
the
there
times she'll
fast.
use this phrase that's like, nobody's talking game to me. Nobody's saying, I'm not hearing anything. Nobody's saying anything to me. Even though she's getting so much information and everyone's talking to her, she says that all the time. And then also when she'll sometimes say,
Fucking hit
"Something
her,
I
that's kind of
noticed,"
funny.
and then she'll just say something that's not totally relevant to the conversation, but makes you feel like she's telling you something important. She'll be like, something that's like just a story
That's
that's
where we're
not
going?
even relevant to like the game, but something that makes it seem like she's only telling you
Oh, I forgot we had
that
a
you are
boat.
getting some information from her, but you're not actually getting anything. And
Or that she agrees with you. Like,
Yeah, I mean, the plan
Janelle
right
will
now
tell
for
her
Watch
something
Dogs is to
about
finish
the,
this
like, you know,
tomorrow.
Cody and Tyler possibly working
There's an
together,
overnight to
and
run
then
either
Brady will
tomorrow
say,
I
or
timed every barge
Friday.
hack with activity on the New York
I'm
Stock Exchange.
thinking of doing it
Every
Friday,
time,
but I might
it
end up
matched
doing
up
it tomorrow.
up to
Either way, it
volatile
doesn't
trading.
really matter. No matter what, I still plan to have this done tomorrow because we should
Saying the financial
only
crisis.
have about like
she's
3 hours or so left for
Manipulate
the
buying
game,
and
so
spending
or she'll
patterns
give
on
like
an already
should be able
observations
to do
on
it.
what the person
But how did the
says.
Auntie
Like,
Shoe Boys have
I
access
think,
to it
like
that
you said,
early?
like, okay, I
Unless-
think,
Unless they were given
Cody and Tyler are
the
working
access
together.
to it?
Like, no,
Plausible
I did see
deniability?
Cody and
Maybe.
Tyler like cooking together earlier, and they were in there by themselves. That's strange. Like, which is like literally like, if anyone asked her, it's like, yeah, they were in there, and all I said was I saw you guys together. I didn't say anything else. And it's like, but that makes it seem like she's totally on board with that, the idea that they're working together. Like, it's very skillful.
I reached the barge.
Keep the
so
line
with
open.
Danny, I gave her a
You're out there
7.
without a
So the
lifeline.
thing with
I
Danny
promise
is
not to
the same
drown.
thing with
I'm
Bailey,
going
where
in. Wish me
I think
luck.
I've seen her play before. Danny has seen her play twice before, and Danny is somebody who can be really impulsive when she gets irritated with somebody. And I feel like that there is a
What's your plan? There may be hundreds of servers on board a ship of that size.
I need to hack the admin terminal to locate the server we want.
But when, like, I have to believe they're going to become not quiet relatively soon. And if Danny has any power in the game, I do feel like she could shoot herself in the foot. Like right now, in my eyes, she has no business winning HOH because everybody really enjoys Danny. I don't think anybody's talking about Danny. No one wants to get rid of Danny. And I certainly believe that, you know, she could win if she got to the end of the game. But I still think that she's not had great game instincts in the past, and given that, I want to see more from her, so I gave her a 7.
Alright, I gave Danny a 9 as well.
Yeah, I saw that
Very
coming.
impressed with what she's doing so
Taryn! Oh my god, you're like the United States judge with United States figure skaters. You're just handing them out left and right.
Look,
God.
You're being so generous.
We're so happy the show's back.
For reference here, the first week of Big Brother 21, Bella got a 5.
Yeah.
Tommy had an 8 this is from the audience. Tommy had an 8.
Was that really happening? I don't remember that.
Like, right? Like, if we're judging on that scale, Cody and Danny are 9s, right? Like, come on.
You have nowhere to go from here, Taryn.
This is a curve, I see. I think this is the way
I know, that's
Yeah, I look
what
at it
do.
as a curve,
like
too.
the current house. Like, what would a 10 be in this house? Not like a 10 overall. Like, the 10,
No, but
10
see,
in this house.
that's not how I'm rating. I
Okay,
want to,
alright.
like, for me, like, I want to, like, I want the game to be on a level
like previous seasons, and even like in Big Brother Canada and stuff, I just
There we
remember
go.
like
Wow.
everybody was so low except for like 2 people, and that is not the case here. My concern with trading everybody a 9 is that like, then what? You know, if everybody's at a 9.
Because again, for me, it's not then what, because it's week 1. They can't go back to week 1 and play a better week 1 game in the future, right? Like week 2 will have a slightly different scale than week 1, because it's now week 2 and they have to play a slightly different game. So I look at it as like a snapshot of where they are right now, and we're gonna see, you know, where they go moving forward. All right. So that's gonna leave
That should do.
Danny at an
See if the
8
back door is still
overall.
good. I found the main
Let's
server on
move
that system, just need to physically
David.
locate it.
Brent?
David, I give a 5.
Wow, I did not give him a very good score at
What
all.
they
I
describe
gave
as
him a
portable
3.
may not be what
Whoa.
you're
I gave
thinking.
him a
Oh?
3 in the
How
Big
big you
Brother
think this thing
All-Star
I mean, to be fair, actually, I think his
Like,
position's definitely
keep
worse
the
than
line
this.
up.
He doesn't have any agency in the house. He doesn't have any respect in the house. He doesn't have any power. And I also feel like he's really bad liar. He's trying to act like, and he told me I'll say this, so like I guess he's not that bad. But see, like I saw him one time, but then he went on. He asked other people the same thing, and then he asked other people different things about like the way the Big Brother game works. Like how does the veto work? How does the nominations work? What happens when you vote? Like what, like things, different things of a Big Brother game that anybody who should have been invited back onto All Stars and had 2 weeks in sequester to watch whatever should know by now. And I feel like the people are onto him that he's not this dumb.
Tell me what's happening.
Found the server. How exactly am I getting this off the boat?
The blueprints you found show a service elevator shaft.
They say that shaft is a bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
I'm talking about elevator shaft.
I can dig it.
Get the server up on deck and we'll take care of the rest.
Like, no one would care, no one would believe him. It's a terrible trio of things that are happening with David right now, and I could see, like, the thing is, too, nobody really cares about him. I don't even feel like he's that interesting. Like, can I just go on? I want to go in on him just for a second, because he's really freaking boring, and there are boring people in the Big Brother house, but my God, he really takes the cake. Like, I've never seen somebody who just doesn't have the ability to just have a normal conversation with somebody like you and I are having right now. Like, Taryn, you totally nailed it about when, like, he was asked about, like, well, so David, what do you want for breakfast today?
What are you
Like,
doing here?
so the thing about breakfast is, like, I don't know, I think about it deeply, just give us a straight answer. It's okay, just connect with people. It's just really frustrating, and, like, he's not even that good of a player. Like, if he was a good player and he was, like, terrible to watch and it was boring, at least I could give him that, but he's not a good player, and he's boring. Like, how did they invite this guy back? Like, I understand why they invited him back from a, let's give somebody a chance who was totally robbed, but there were other people in the history of Big Brother who have also been robbed, like Jody or Cameron, who would have been so much better in the house than David. Look, if he can turn it around, God bless him. For right now, it's a 3. Sorry, that was long-winded.
David's an interesting one to me. I think that his position is not terrible. I love his connection to Tyler. I love that he is included in the Bailey and Devon alliance. I love that he kind of is on the good side of the power crew. However, there was a conversation that Cody had with Christmas earlier today, and last night as well. He mentioned, or no, sorry, he had it with Danny. Last night he mentioned that he wanted to put David on the block, that David should be put on the block, and that is really what kills the score for me. You know, if you are going to be in this good position, but nobody really respects you, you're kind of a pawn in the game, you need to not be actually used as a pawn in the game, because that can send you home. That can put you in danger where you should be an easy glide to the finish. And I should be talking about how pencil David in for the final 2, final 3,
that's
because you know, the real trouble is he needs to be able to garner respect to win the game. But what I have to talk about is he might be used as a pawn next week. He might be used as a pawn throughout the game, and at some point he might get clipped here or there. He has a long road ahead of him, but he's not in a terrible position. He's not screwing himself up like a lot of people do in early weeks of the season. So for me, it's a 4 for David.
So before Puya and Melissa give their ratings, I just want to ask Puya and Melissa. So I think that the encapsulation simulation of David's game was shown. Did you guys see that, like, on Kaiser's birthday, David totally fell on his freaking ass, and no one noticed? No one noticed anything. He fell upon his ass in the kitchen, and no one said a word.
To be fair, they did see Kevin fall, but nobody saw David fall.
Yes. Anyway.
Poor David.
The audience is looking at David, and they actually agree with me on this one.
We need you to go check on that alarm.
Is a 4. What are your thoughts on that?
Tell me what's happening.
Shit, that's not good.
Out of 4. I think ultimately for me, he was starting to look like a 5 because here's the thing.
What's the
Frank,
plan?
I agree with the
I'm
things you're
almost
saying,
there.
but also
Josh, what the
he's
fuck?
literally had
Watch the
nowhere to
clock.
go but up, right? So, if we're looking at it like as a locked up 1 week thing, I do like the Tyler connection.
I got someone for you to shoot.
Obviously, we'll get to Tyler, but that's a good connection to have.
I'm 29 seconds away.
Damn, man.
Someone that
What?
you're working with
I like to be punctual.
Considering putting you up as a pawn, that's not great. When people don't know your name, that's not great. Playing stupid is great if people didn't already think you don't know anything coming in. If they don't know your name, because you can play stupid and be like, I'm hoping all of you, but then it's a hard time convincing someone.
Where are
you?
that
Am I-
You should see me right about...
Am I supposed to
What
be
am I
in
looking
there?
at?
Obviously, I think
Holy
that
shit,
David,
that's
more
not
than
me.
anybody, is somebody who
Is
could
that
benefit
your
from
drone?
winning
Surprise.
some power.
Custom built for us.
Oh fuck, I have to actually be there.
Yeah, shove some agency into the ride.
Marcus, where are you? You need to hook up the server to the drone.
Drone? Wait, never mind. Fuck it. Be right there.
I don't know exactly what the happenings there are, but I'd love you to see that. Ultimately, this is the appropriate place to put him because honestly, he's still like he could go anywhere. There is enough room for him to bottle out and fall to the floor even more, but there's also enough room that he can do something like that's the thing is that we're comparing this stuff. He does 2 nice things and he could bump up to a 5 because ultimately, unless he did on next week, I think he might be good enough to like stay at the same level or go up 1. So 4 is the appropriate score. I'm glad the audience made this easy for me to explain because if the audience went full 6 over here, I don't know how I would have tried to do that. So I'm happy both got it.
Okay.
Yeah, what I would like to see with David is
God.
almost the opposite of what he's doing. What he's doing is, and there was an interesting moment earlier today in the half-note room where he was talking to Nicole, Anthony, and Ian. And they,
Hey, yo, Josh, man. How many times have you flown this
and
thing?
he was like having fun, joking around with them, laughing with them. Like he's usually very serious, but he was like having a good time with them. And then, oh sorry, it wasn't Ian, it was Kevin. Kevin was in there, and so he's joking around with Kevin and Nicole, and Kevin kind of just goes like, you know, I'm really feeling it in this moment. Like I just want to say, guys, like I would really love to work with you. Like I really feel good about you guys. I feel like I go off a vibe, and I'm just feeling a great vibe. And just David just immediately shut down. It's immediately.
You know, Michelle, we're just glad that these hackers were finally brought to justice.
And like you could see Nicole
It
like trying
frankly
to like
shows
get the
a flaw
energy.
in the system, from the submarine cables to the spying and sabotage by groups like
David was just
DedSec.
like,
Now, I will tell you
totally
this.
with you.
Bloom
I'm
is
just,
working
you know,
on
thinking
a product
about
that
how
will eliminate this
the
problem.
thing about the half-hour rooms that people come into the half-hour. I'm not worried. I'm wondering
Then
about like
spend
who's
the
going to come
attack
into the
as a
half-hour next.
vulnerability
Like
on
are
the
they going to
submarine
bond
cables.
like this
Gotta hand it to
in
the
this way
asshole.
that we have bonded?
No more companies
Yeah.
gonna sign up for Bloom's satellite pipeline.
Majority
And so
UK got
that's kind
canceled.
of how like David talks
That's
game. Like there's a big contrast too when he talks game with Tyler. Whenever
Oh, that's another thing that's funny that got announced today. So
Shut up!
Halo Infinite got delayed.
yeah, let's do this. When he's in with
baiting
David,
us.
he's like, yeah, David, like let's go, let's do this.
Think.
And David's like,
He's trying to neutralize us one last time.
Oh, is the Winners at War 2
We are
this
a-
weekend?
and I want him to
On
be
Friday?
the
We
opposite.
agreed,
I
all
want
of
him to
us.
be
To play
wide-eyed.
this
I'll probably
thing
watch
out
it.
on our terms.
I
Has that
haven't
changed?
watched a lot of the games for season 2, but I have watched like half of it. And like I know who about half of these players are.
I'm so excited
So
to be
Let's all
here.
get back to work.
That's
And let's
that's
bring
how
this
I want
thing
David to
home.
be because
Yeah, I'll
even
watch
because
it.
that's where like that's the Ian spot of like they might not respect you now, but if you do get to the end, that enthusiasm, that desire to be here will be like, oh, like man, like what a story. Like he didn't know what he was doing, but he was so excited to be here. He was so enthusiastic about playing. Right now,
He has none of that.
None of it.
None of it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been totally disappointed in David so far. Like, you know that I was very much looking forward to David coming back, and that was one of like the few people who was like, give this guy another chance, he's got this. I'm upset, honestly, because I feel like I thought, like, okay, I get that the first time he went in, he wasn't a fan of the show, he didn't know the show at all, but he had a really good read on the house and was, like, good at the game, or seemingly good at the game, just, like, from a natural level, and, like, you know, all you have to do is, like, hone that skill by, like, learning about the game and understanding, like, what's the next step and all that sort of stuff.
I don't even want any of these, if I'm being honest.
For All-Stars would be like, okay, kick it into high gear, I'm going to study everything, I'm going to watch the seasons, I'm going to know everything that's going on, like, I'm going to be fully prepared going in. And maybe he did do that, but I don't see it, and I'm not hearing about it. And
So I believe all that's left for him in game is these two missions, and then the other one, the Motherload, the final mission.
Any prep, you know, for
Okay,
this
well, ends here.
the season,
Next episode, continue on for now. Thanks for watching.